Drinking on the job, groping women, even forcing female employees into a wet t-shirt contest. These are just a handful of shocking 200-plus allegations spanning nearly a decade and detailed in a newly released investigation into Seattle City Light. Thanks for joining the news at 10 o'clock. I'm Nia Wong.
And I'm Frankie Thompson. Fox 13 sat down with the CEO this afternoon after this report went public. Jennifer Dowling joins us now with more on the egregious claims and what's being done to stop the behavior.
Yeah, the CEO calls this behavior very disappointing and says that many employees were afraid to come forward. She says they feared retaliation from network crew chiefs because some were actively participating in that culture.
Those who were sexual predators, those are gone.
Seattle City Light's CEO says more than a dozen employees were fired or suspended after an external investigation uncovered disturbing claims.
The investigator ended up having to write 40 different reports, one for each employee who was implicated through the investigation.
Early signs of trouble appeared in 2017 in a complaint that stated apprentices were required to frequently buy alcohol and that a crew chief operated his work truck as a rolling mobile bar. The next year, an anonymous email with the subject line, "Tired of this," also came in, accusing a crew chief and another network employee of inappropriate touching. The CEO says investigations into those early complaints hit a dead end.
It's really difficult to investigate anonymous complaints.
In November 2022, new complaints surfaced prompting this investigation. One report says a crew chief took an employee that worked as a cable splicer to a bar to get her drunk and then allegedly took compromising photos of her. Another stated crews would go to bars, including the Ballard Mandarin restaurant and Bar House in Fremont, between regular and overtime shifts.
We had several anonymous complaints come forward.
That resulting investigation found allegations of a, quote, boys club mentality with noticeable consequences for not conforming. An employee reported that when an apprentice turned down a drink, a crew chief bought and served him one anyway, asking if he was a snitch. Another reported they were coached into taping over beer can labels before stocking the work truck's drawer that had been converted into a cooler or ice chest. Some who didn't buy alcohol reported being isolated. Others said crew members were so drunk they didn't get anything done. In one instance, a contractor asked if they were okay after seeing crews wrestling and yelling. In another, a cable splicer working overtime, quote, peed on himself, couldn't talk, couldn't stand up, fell out of the truck, then passed out in the truck. Sexual misconduct claims also surfaced, including about men touching and groping women, and that, quote, one crew chief's bread van had a laptop on the dashboard broadcasting porn. The misconduct list goes on and on. A witness also reported seeing a crew chief chase a female employee, pull her hair, and say, "Hey, look," then throw water on her face. She confirmed the crew chief showered her with a 5-gallon bucket of ice water in what she called a forced wet t-shirt contest. Another female worker said she succumbed to a sexual encounter with the same crew chief who showed up at her home uninvited, adding his efforts were persistent and influential enough that she felt it unsafe to reject or anger him.
People in power have additional responsibility, and they didn't uphold their responsibility.
A union representative sent out this statement saying the union condemns the unsafe and unacceptable behavior identified in the investigation. They go on to say safety is our highest priority and we are committed to upholding rigorous safety standards. Lindell says in total 5 employees were fired and 7 were suspended. Others were assigned coaching or will be written up. She says although this investigation uncovered disappointing findings, she hopes it can lead to a culture change at Seattle City Light. As of tonight, the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says no criminal charges have been brought against any current or former employees. Reporting in the newsroom, Jennifer Dowling, Fox 13 News.